Hi, and welcome back to A Heart for Home Education. My name is America, mother to three, homeschooling in a classical Charlotte Mason way. Today we're going to be talking about some of our restful summer plans for keeping a schedule and a little bit of academics. So if you are anything like me, you are ready for a break from homeschooling, but you also don't want to lose a lot of the progress that you've made in some of those skill-based subjects. My first year of homeschooling, I made the huge mistake of taking the entire summer off and not really brushing up on any skills and just really resting, even to a little bit too much of an extent. And when we came back, for some reason I was shocked that my son had not retained very much. That was completely my fault, and I vowed to never do it again. But at the same time, we do need a break from schooling. My children need it, and I need it, and just the rhythm of our home needs something fresh and new for these warmer months. We will probably start back up school in mid to late August like we usually do. So for this summer, I have made some schedules and checklists for each of my children with various things on them. First, I had to brainstorm what skills I really wanted to work on in some of my children's skills and what things I wanted to do just for their own enrichment and just so they still have good ideas coming in. Because I find that when we are on breaks, they're not getting that feast of ideas as they regularly do during the school week and the school year. And so sometimes their attitudes suffer, and that's understandable. And it's on me to try to still give them a feast, but that is more restful. So we will be pausing from most of our narrations. I think I may ask for 1 or 2 narrations in a very sneaky way throughout the week, either through Bible or from our afternoon tea time readings. Just a restful, easy narration so that the skill doesn't completely go away. But they won't have to write anything down. They won't have to notebook. It will just be a time of enjoying good literature. Another thing that I like to focus on in the summer is habits. So for each child, I wrote out different skills that I'd still like to work on. And I also wrote out some habits that I would like to keep training on or introduce training on. We have a couple of bad habits that we need to break, and I need to tend to that habit, like Charlotte Mason would say, like a mother tending to a child with the measles, or is it mumps? I don't know. But I don't know off the top of my head, I can't remember. But that kind of attentiveness would be around the clock. It would be very diligent. It would be nonstop, where your goal is to nurse that child back to health. When your child is sick with the stomach flu, that is all you're doing that day, is helping your child get through the stomach flu. And so these bad habits that some of my children have, and I have bad habits too, we all do, I just want to help them through this summer to break some of those bad habits in the ways that Charlotte Mason has encouraged us to do. So here's a look at the summer schedules that I have for the kids.
Hello, I am editing and I just wanted to say a quick note that these things may look like a lot, like long lists, and my children are just going to be doing chores all summer, but the tasks in the morning will only take about 15 minutes, and then they are free to go outside or go on an outing or whatever it is, but the majority of their days will be spent playing and spent outside, of course, and it will be me taking them on outings. But these are the chores that we must do before we can do that. And I think at max it will be about 15 minutes in the morning, and then in the afternoon it'll be about 10 minutes of chores, and then any of the lessons that we're doing are going to be about half of the length of time that we would be doing in the school year. So it will feel a lot more restful and a lot easier. So I just wanted to hop in and clarify that so that you're not thinking that I am keeping up with rigorous academics all summer, because that is simply not the case.
I wanted to make them really beautiful so that they looked beautiful sitting on my table. So I'm really happy with the way that they turned out. I think they are beautiful and they suit each of my children nicely. I made these on Canva Pro, and you can see here I've got morning chores listed out, and I plan to require a check next to each of these before they can go outside or before they can go on whatever outing we're going on. And then here's
afternoon occupations. So just cleaning up, chores, a lot of these we already do, of course. And then my son's reading lesson or piano lesson. It can either be after breakfast in the morning, or if it's not checked off there, it will be down here. And that'll just depend on what we have planned for that day and how timing is working out. Then I'll have his math review. That's just 10 minutes of a workbook or a computer game or some multiplication songs. And then this quiet playtime is always the pinch point for us because they would rather just escape outside. And so I'm not sure if that's what I should encourage or if I should encourage the quiet, independent playtime for at least 30 minutes. And then for my daughter, she's got the same morning chores. She's got a couple of slightly different chores. And then her afternoon occupations, she's got some chores to work through, her reading lesson and phonics books, and then just maybe 5 minutes of counting that maybe I'll just do during lunch as well. But that's for both of us to check off. And then my little guy is 4, so he is not reading yet. So at first I printed off one just like this, and then I realized he can't read. So I made something that would be a little more meaningful for him with some pictures. He's got breakfast. He's got to put away the silverware from the dishwasher. He's got to get dressed, make his bed, and tidy his room, brush his teeth, wash his face, and comb his hair before we do any outside time or outings. And then his afternoon occupations are sweeping, math. And then these checkmark boxes are just part of habit training, just making sure that we are doing certain things and not doing other certain things. But for their privacy, I will leave it at that. So beyond the chore charts, I also have some plans for our summer reading. I hope to hit some lighter novels that maybe won't work as well as a term novel. So for morning time, I plan to go through the wonderful Ancient Psalms Ever New by Marty Machowski. And we have just finished the read-alouds, but this goes through the Psalms and reading Psalms, interpreting Psalms, and things like that. So this will be our summer Bible study. And this has you read a Psalm a day from the actual Bible. So that is what we will be doing this summer for Bible. So this is Be Thou My Vision by Jonathan Gibson. And this has a daily liturgy of a call to worship, adoration, reading of the law, confession of sin, assurance of pardon, the Apostles' Creed, singing praise, catechism, a prayer for illumination before you read scripture, then your scripture reading, which is when we would jump over to this, a prayer of intercession, and further petition for personal, church, and world prayer, and then closing in the Lord's Prayer. So we will be using this for our summer worship. Also, I'm working on adapting some family rules from our 24 Family Ways by Clay Clarkson. Excuse me, this is by Clay Clarkson. So I will be adapting some of their family rules to fit our family, and then I plan to help my children memorize these rules this summer. I am currently reading Knights in Training, 10 Principles for Raising Honorable, Courageous, and Compassionate Boys by Heather Haupt. And this has a lot of living book recommendations about knights in it, and it has she talks about, I haven't quite gotten to the code yet, but I've skimmed it. I'm only maybe 3 or 4 chapters in. But the code goes along with the family ways. So I'll be meshing the two to incorporate some of these codes into our family rules. I'm also interested in the Myself and Others curriculum from Memoria Press and the way that touches on habits and etiquette and manners and things like that. So I am debating on doing that curriculum once a week throughout the summer. And Memoria Press also has a Manners of the Week, just a flashcard kit, I think. And I am going to purchase those because habits and manners and etiquette are things that we really would like to work on this summer with the kids. What I'm most excited about is our tea time and our afternoon reads. We probably will not do this daily. We go to the pool, we go to outings. I don't want to be tied to the house in the summer especially. But if we are home, probably 3 days a week, I think that we will be solidly at home.
Well, hi, it's a new day and a new location, but I finished my Streeter Summer Scholade list and it was able to print it and laminate it, and I didn't have that quite done yesterday. wasn't sure where I was going to go with it, but I like what I've come up with, so I wanted to show it to you.
It's just a beautiful day, so I wanted to sit out here. I have this printed, laminated, and this is for me to reference. So my children will have their own checklists for the summer, and then this is sort of my guiding resource for morning time. Like I said, I wanted to do Wonderful, the Myself and Others curriculum by Memoria Press, memorize family rules and manner of the week, and of course review our Bible verses and catechism. And I have the academics section so I can quickly reference what I'm focusing on for each child. So I have my oldest son finishing up his math book, which I looked through his math book today, and we'll be done before the end of May, which is just a couple more weeks. And then I will just focus on the math drills for the rest of the summer, finishing up our grammar curriculum and potentially copy work once a week. I want to see how all this feels. If it's feeling like too much school, then I will nix the copy work. But we're definitely finishing phonics pathways and reading every day from the Abeka readers that I got at a garage sale. And then piano after breakfast or lunch. And then my daughter reading every day, finishing I think it's American language series book that I have. Move on if needed. If she finishes that, I think we'll be at a really great place for her first year of reading. And then math drills 2 times a week. And then my littlest, just letter sounds. And then I wrote out our tea time afternoon reads, focusing on fairy tales, any and all fairy tales, The Railway Children, night readings, King of the Golden River, Swallows and Amazon, Children of Noisy Village, Narnia, Greek myths, Hondelairs, and the Wonder Book, just because they really find these very entertaining. And I did not get to as many as I would have liked to this year, so. And then for bedtime readings, The Hobbit, that'll keep us busy probably all summer, Elizabeth George Spear books, and then stargazing once a week. And then our list of habits that we're going to be working on. I'm going to be really micromanaging the completing chores before going outside after breakfast and lunch. That is what my focus is going to be the first couple of weeks of summer. And then of course the manners curriculum. I went ahead and did my mother culture reads at the bottom. So these are some of the things that I'm planning to read. I could do a separate video on my mother culture sort of routine, but right now I have a morning theology read. I'm reading You Are What You Love. This is of course after Bible reading and prayer. And then I have confessions that I'm listening to and reading on Sundays. And once I finish You Are What You Love, I might move that to my morning theology read. And then the 4 Cardinal Virtues by Josef Pieper, I think is his name. And then I usually have an afternoon educational read. Norms and Nobility, Climbing Parnassus, Know and Tell, How to Teach Shakespeare. And I think I'm adding, oh no, I put that down here. Okay, so audio story. I always have an audio story going on as well as an audio challenge / educational / just more difficult read going on. So my audio story options are A Tree in Brooklyn, Anna Karenina, Shakespeare plays. I want to get to a couple of those, and Sense and Sensibility. And then for my audio challenge reads, I have Abolition of Man, Leisure by Josef Pieper, and some Hillsdale College courses. Those aren't books, of course, but I really love the Hillsdale College courses, and so I'd like to get to a couple more of those if I can. And then, of course, just any Charlotte Mason that I feel I need to read. So that is how we are going to have a restful and fun summer. I will not be strict about any of these readings or any of these academic pursuits. I won't be missing pool outings or beach outings or park outings or play dates, because it's not about the utilitarian aspect of education. We are trying to form full children and forming them in the shape of leisure and rest and not the pursuit of more and more and more all of the time, and success and advances and productivity. I want them to be able to rest and to have a fun summer. It will be more work for us in the end if we just stop working on all of these skills altogether. So they seem to understand that. They're okay with it. They see that it will be a different type of rhythm, and they see all the things that we won't have to do, and I think they're going to have fun all the same. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments down below what things you have planned for a restful and fun Charlotte Mason classical summer. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.